Release dates, release dates, release dates. This story started when I read a story about Final Fantasy VII and Kingdom Hearts 3, when it was said that these games will release in, quote, the next 3 years or so, unquote. So that's basically putting us at 2020. Now, Final Fantasy VII was announced, well, the remake was announced in 2015, while Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced in 2013. This is just crazy. And on top of that, Shenmue 3, which I backed Kickstarter, and during that Final Fantasy VII E3 press conference for PlayStation, they announced that that was coming back, and I was through the roof because I loved Shenmue, and I could not believe that this was actually happening. And a funny story, I actually bought Shenmue3.com and owned that URL and put a site to petition to make that happen, and now it's true. So that was just a little cool story with my history of Shenmue. But that's another game that, while that Kickstarter started in 2015 and it had a tentative, well, I think it still does, has a tentative release date of 2017, the development team recently came out and said they're not going to be at E3, they're going to focus on development. So it looks very likely that they're not going to be hitting that original date. Now, I'm all for delays. I understand that that happens, and it's always for the better, usually, unless it's a complete disaster. But having a game delayed usually makes a game better. And it always makes me think of the Shigeru Miyamoto quote that says, "A delayed game is eventually good, but a bad game is bad forever." And that's very important to consider. But there's a difference between a game being delayed and being announced way, way, way too freaking early. When a game gets announced so early, and I understand from these companies' perspectives, and especially towards investors, they want to get this big news out there to say, hey, we're developing it. This is going to be the great next big thing, and come invest with us or get excited for this game. But the problem is when that happens and you go years without information or valuable information, and you keep saying, oh, this team changed, or it's in development hell, or this happened, it starts to wear on your excitement. I've had that happen a lot of times with not even just games, but movies. The one that I always think about when this topic comes up is Avatar. Not Avatar The Last Airbender, which is one of the greatest shows of all time, thank you very much, but Avatar, the movie, James Cameron's epic, that came out in 2009. And shortly after it made $600 billion, James Cameron announced that there's going to be an Avatar 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5, all the way up to 500,000. We are sitting in 2017, and we still don't have Avatar 2. It was recently said that now it's going to be December 18th, 2020. So that's going to be almost 11 years since the first Avatar came out. And recently at Disney World, they launched Pandora, where you can go into this Avatar world. But I start to think, who cares about this franchise? I mean, it was a great movie, and I enjoyed it, and seeing the beauty of this world and James Cameron pushing the technology was fantastic. But it gets to a point where I'm just like, I don't care. Maybe I'll care when the movie comes out, but why get our hopes up and then get people so excited and then have it just blow up in your face? It just makes me so frustrated. And on the opposite spectrum, I think of Fallout 4, where it was announced in June of 2015, and it came out in November of 2015. That's a 5-month lead time. That's enough time to get excited and to be so thrilled about a game. And I get that Fallout has a certain swagger and certain prestige about it, and it will really sell itself without advertising. And I get the lead up, especially to a new title. A year, 2 years, that's really, I think, where it hits the threshold of just really getting annoying and silly. I know as a gamer, you don't have to focus on these things, and you can focus on the games and say when they come, they come. It just gets so frustrating, especially when you're covering news and trying to find out all this information, and people come out saying the game's coming along great, and we're so excited for this game, and then you hear that it's barely even in development. I just get so frustrated with that kind of stuff, especially because, I mean, I get very excited about games. I do understand that. And especially a game like Final Fantasy VII, which happens to be my favorite game of all time. I was very, very excited for that remake, and I knew it would be a little ways away, but having to wait this long is just crazy. And that's really all I wanted to say on this topic, but I just wanted to bring it up just to vent my frustration from time to time. I'm not going to be complaining a lot about some things, but especially with something as near and dear to me as Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts and Shenmue, just all hitting on the same day. But as I said, developers, take as much time as you want, 10 years, 20 years, I don't care, whatever it takes to make the game as great as it can, but just be wary of when you're announcing it and what that might do to the image of the game. That's all I have to say. And in the meantime, I'll be hibernating until 2020 so I can just play this Final Fantasy VII Remake and see what this is all about. So wake me up when 2020 comes around, will you? Thank you. Now, if you would like to be a part of the Gamers Advocate family, please like us on Facebook. Please follow us at Twitter at Gamers Advocate. Please send us an email, adam@thegamersadvocate.com. Subscribe below, review us in iTunes, become a part of the family, like I said. If you want to follow me, I'm at Adam Bankhurst. I'm very excited about next week because not only is it the week before E3, but next show will be all about my E3 predictions. I'm very excited to do that, and I'm very excited to probably be wrong on every single one of them, but it'll be fun to do and look back once E3 is over. And the following week, when E3 happens, I will be in LA on the show floor, bringing you all the coverage and talking about all my feelings of the incredible titles that will undoubtedly be shown at the Video Game Super Bowl, as I like to call it. So once again, I want to thank you for joining us as we explore all the incredible topics in the world of video games, and I hope you have an incredible day and or night. Thank you.